Hi, I'm Lisa Bardot, and today's drawing tutorial is all about legs. This video is a part of my People Skills series, a sequence of tutorials and assignments that will get you familiar with the basics of drawing humans and help you develop your own people drawing style. If this is your first People Skills tutorial, I recommend starting with the intro video and working your way through the tutorial sequentially. We'll be using the iPad app Procreate to do the tutorials, but you are more than welcome to join in with a paper and pencil or whatever medium you feel comfortable using. If you're new to Procreate, I highly recommend watching my Procreate for Beginners tutorial to learn all the basics. Let's get started. In this series, we've been learning all about how to stylize our people drawings. This means our goal is not to depict things with exact realism. However, the first step in stylizing is to understand how things actually look and move in real life. To stylize something is to reduce it down to its most characteristic elements, then make choices as the artist about which of those parts to include and how to depict them. I always like to start by defining what I call the minimal depiction. This is the least amount of visual information we would need to portray a human leg. Legs can be boiled down to two long lines or shapes that bend in the middle. These shapes become even more obviously a leg when they have a foot-like shape attached. So that's the simplest depiction of a leg. But to really get a better understanding of something, we need to understand two things. What is its shape and how does it move? In answering these questions, we can define the basic elements, or what unique qualities make a leg a leg. We determine this by making observations from references. First of all, the leg is overall a tapered shape, wider towards the hip and smaller at the ankle. The leg is made up of two sections, the upper leg and the lower leg. The leg is also made of three joints, at the hip, the knee, and at the ankle. We'll go into the joints a little bit more when we talk about movement. The legs also have some curved areas and some straight areas. The muscles in the leg are rather complex and give the leg some unique curves. We're going to simplify these curves as much as possible, but we'll get into that in a little bit. The knee protrudes slightly. The leg also attaches to the torso at an angle. And of course, we can't forget the butt. The butt isn't, technically a part of the leg, but it does play a role in some of the curves we're going to be adding to the legs. So these are the basic elements of the leg. Now let's talk about how the leg moves. The leg has three major joints, as we discussed, where it connects at the hip, at the knee, and at the ankle. At the hip joint, the leg has pretty much a full range of motion. It can move forward, backward, in, out, rotate inwards, or away from the body. At the knee, the motion is more limited, moving to a bent position and back to straight. We covered ankle movements in the toes and feet video, but the ankle can move up, down, and all around. So these are the ways in which a leg can move. This is important because as we start to draw legs in different poses, we're going to need to know how we can move it. Now that we've established our basic elements and talked a little bit about movement, let's draw some legs, attempting to incorporate all of those elements into our drawing. So remember from the minimal depiction that a leg is a long shape that bends. So we'll start with that by drawing a line. To start out, we're going to draw in a straight, unbent position. So the leg's made up of two sections and three joints, so we'll depict that using circles at the joints. One at the hip, one at the knee, and at the ankle. Notice that the circles decrease in size as we go down, and if we connect all the joints together, we get a long tapered shape. Now I'll draw a line diagonally at the hip joint because remember, the leg attaches to the torso at an angle. It's not just connected to the bottom of the torso with like a straight line. Since this is just one leg, we should also establish that this side is the inside of the leg and this is the outside of the leg. Legs are not symmetrical, so this does matter. Now we can add our curved and straight lines. So these curved lines on the leg are given their shape by the muscles that are underneath the skin. These lines do change depending on the angle of the leg. This leg is facing straight forward. We're looking at it straight on. Let's generalize the major muscles by drawing some ovals. There is a large muscle on the upper leg that's roughly shaped like this. And the calf muscle is here. The widest part of it is about 1/3 of the way down the lower leg. Now, on a new layer, let's outline the leg, minding the curves and lines of the structure we've set up. On the outside of the upper leg, we have a curved line. On the outside of the lower leg is another curved line for the calf muscle. Again, the widest part is about 1/3 of the way down the lower leg. Then it narrows down to form the ankle. On the inside, the upper leg has some curve to it. There is a little bit of curve on the calf, but a little less than on the outside of the leg. We can even add a little bit of shading underneath the knee, indicating that there is a shadow from the protruding kneecap. So if we take a step back, we can generalize to see that the outside of the leg is more curvy and the inside is a bit more straight. I want to show you a little test that you can do to make sure your choice of stylization or generalization is working and it still reads correctly. A good way to test if your simplification works is to exaggerate it, simplifying it even more. If I draw a pair of legs just as I did, but exaggerate the stylization of those straight and curved parts, it would look like this. But if I reverse the curves and straights, it looks kind of off. So this helps me know that I'm choosing the right curves to keep as curves and which ones are okay to turn into straight lines. It's really up to you as the artist to choose how much or little detail you add to your drawing. Okay, we're going to draw legs in 3 different angles because we're not always looking at a body straight on. Using a light color, draw 3 different curvy shapes at the top of your canvas. The first one is going to be the front view, so let's draw kind of a pear shape. The second one will be a side view, so let's draw this bean shape. And the last one will be a 3/4 view. Let's draw another pear shape here. Now, we'll draw a vertical line to denote where the center of the body is. This one is facing forward, so we'll draw a straight line right down the middle. The center bean shape is facing to the side, so we wouldn't even see that center line at all. And the third one, the 3/4 view, will have a line that curves outlining our imagined contouring of this shape. To make it easier to visualize how the legs connect to these shapes, let's draw a pair of undies on each of them. The front view has 2 visible leg holes. The side view lets us only see 1 leg hole because they're directly in front of each other. And the 3/4 view will have 1 here that is visible and 1 on the other side of the shape as well. If you imagine this is completely transparent, that's why we're seeing it. Now, let's draw a line at the bottom, and this is going to be the floor where the legs are standing on. We're still going to be drawing straight legs for now, so let's draw straight lines for each visible leg. This little line here marks the ankle or the height of the foot. So in terms of body proportions, if you take the length from the groin to the heels, the kneecaps are just above the center of that length. So if this is the center, let's add some circles just above on the midpoint of all those legs. Okay, let's now create the tapered leg shape by connecting the hips to the knees to the ankles. I'll also sketch in the forward-facing foot shape using what we learned in my toes and feet tutorial. In another color, I'm going to draw on those muscle shapes. We've already done the front view, so that looks like this. For the calves, another way that I can make the muscle shape is by drawing a circle 1/3 of the way down. Now, on a new layer, I'll outline the legs. I'll also add a little shadow under the knee. Remember, when the legs are facing forward, the curvier parts are on the outside of the legs. All right, let's do the side view. Start by connecting the joints to make a tapered leg shape. In the side view, the upper leg is more curvy on the front, or the top of the thigh, so we can draw the muscle shape kind of like this. And on the lower leg, the calf muscle is on the back of the leg. Touch your own calf now to see how the front is more bony and the back is more fleshy. On that new layer, let's outline the leg in side view. The upper leg has a curve over the thigh. I'll draw a little bump for the protruding knee. Then we've got sort of like an inwardly swooping line on the front of the lower leg. On the back of the leg, we need to be sure to outline the curve of the butt. Don't forget the butt. And on the back of the thigh, it sort of swoops in from there. Then we've got an outward curve on the back of the calf. Okay, let's generalize the curves in side view. On the front of the leg, starting at the top, it curves out, then in, and on the back, it curves in, then out. Overall, we've got these two S shapes. On to the 3/4 view. Use lines to create the tapered leg shape. Draw the almond shapes on the upper legs. In the 3/4 view, we're going to see curves on the front and back of the legs. On the lower legs, we can see one side of the calf muscle, but the other side is a little obscured at this angle, so it's going to look a lot like it does in the side view. Straight on the front, curved on the back. Outline the back leg in the same way. So if we were to generalize the curves in the 3/4 view, the front of the upper leg curves out and the lower leg swoops in, very similar to the front leg in the side view. But on the back, we've got two outward curves, top and bottom, much like the outside of the front view. The more you practice drawing legs at different angles, the more you'll become familiar with where to put all these curves. I have one more exercise for you to do. You might remember our ball of arms we made in my arms tutorial. Well, we're going to make a ball of legs. This will help you learn to draw the legs in various bent positions and different angles. In a light color, draw a circle. Imagine this circle is a ball or sphere. Let's put a few holes in the ball. The closer the hole is to the edge of the circle, the more flattened the hole will appear. Put a dot in each hole and a line coming off each of the dots. This one is sticking out towards the viewer, so we do need to foreshorten the leg here. That's why this line seems kind of short. Make another dot and then add another line that is going in a different direction. Add little perpendicular lines to the ends. This represents the width of the ankle. Another line continues down after the ankle mark. This is the length from the ankle to the heel. And then add another perpendicular line. You can angle this line as it represents the bottom of the foot. I'll add a larger circle over all the knees to help define the width of that part of the leg. Let's connect everything with some tapered shapes just like before. Also, I'm sketching the shape of the foot. I ran out of room for this one, so I'll just shrink it up a little bit. I'm not worried too much that these are proportionally correct. We're just working on getting the right structure set up as we learn how to draw legs. Now we can figure out where to add the curved parts of the legs using what we learned in the previous section. This leg is in side view, so there are curves on the front of the upper leg and the back of the lower leg. The upper part of this leg is kind of in a 3/4 view, so we'll add curves to both sides. And the lower leg is facing forward, so we'll add a curve to the outside and a smaller one on the inside. These two legs are also in side view, so we'll add curves to the appropriate places. You might have noticed a different way I'm depicting the calf muscle here. I'm using a line to mark the width that's acting as a guide to help me make the curve. There are lots of methods to do any of what I'm teaching you, so please do experiment and find the way that works best for you. Now, on another layer, go around and outline all these legs. Turn off the layer with the structure, and you've got a bunch of wacky looking legs. What's pretty cool is that if you move these around a bit, and maybe even pair them together, we start to get these really cool dynamic leg poses. This top one looks a bit like it's sitting, and this other one might be doing some weird leap or dance move. I hope this exercise shows you how you can manipulate this leg structure to start making poses. Don't worry too much about it for now. We'll be talking all about posing bodies in another video coming very soon. Now it's time for you to do your homework. First, observe lots of photos of legs. See if you can identify what angle you're looking at and where the curves are on the legs. Then draw 3 sets of legs like in the tutorial: front facing, side view, and 3/4 view. Then follow the steps to create a ball of legs to practice drawing legs in bent positions and at different angles. As always, the more you practice, the better you will get at it. You can learn more about this assignment on the lesson page, including a Pinterest board I made full of additional resources. Find that, plus an organized list of all the people skills lessons at bardobrush.com/people. I've put a link in the description. I hope you'll join us in our next tutorial where we're going to finally be putting everything together and discussing body proportions. Be sure to subscribe and tap the little bell icon so you don't miss it. I made people skills as a part of my Making Art Everyday project, a series of drawing prompts, tutorials, and motivation to help you overcome fears and establish a daily art making practice. Learn more at bardobrush.com/joinMAE. Again, I'm Lisa Bardot, and I help people find their creativity through drawing on the iPad. If you'd like to support me, I hope you'll check out my premium Procreate brushes that inspire creativity at bardobrush.com. If you're posting your artwork to Instagram, I would love to see it. Use the hashtag #BardotBrush. Thanks, and happy art making! If you like this video, please subscribe for more awesome tutorials. And check out one of my other videos. Have a great day!